The floor.
Following.
Yes. Honorable Kifuso.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise also to echo my views on the debate of His Excellency the Governor Hon.Newton, aka Wakucha, during the opening of the third session of Third County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, my attention is drawn on the following key issues which His Excellency mentioned in his speech. Point number one is on the matter of education. During his speech, he emphasized on matters of education, and he stated that the previous two governors and the members, they focused more on the construction of the infrastructures, but he said that it is a need now to do with equipping the same facilities. Mr. Speaker, I echo his sentiment, and I say it is true. We have several institutions, these ECDs that have been constructed, like my first term, we constructed in Miwad more than 5 VTC, more than 5 ECDs, and we managed to construct 1 VTC, two VTCs during my first term. And now I echo his sentiment that we as members, when we are allocating more funds during the budget, we should be looking at equipping more. Like the ECDs, we need a lot of facilities for the young kids, because when you go to some ECD, they're really in dilapidated condition. Because I was a chair on the implementation committee, and we are privileged to go several wards to go and look at the same. And indeed, they were really in a bad condition. But there's one thing which I think His Excellency, he need also to put on the same matter of education. I've been following his speeches, but I've not heard him even a single day mentioning about bursaries. It is sad to know that, but I know it is not an oversight thing, because during his inaugural speech I was so keen on the same, it was not mentioned. The other day here it was not mentioned, and I think this is, I don't think if maybe he means to leave it out. But a few weeks ago, we saw that he released 15 million, which went to the scholarships of our kids, of our brothers and sisters, which in the last regime, we had passed a resolution, which was through a motion by late Mheshimiwa Beatrice, that every ward, 5 students who will be performing with 300 and above, they should be given scholarship. And this program really benefited a lot of students. And I know, as we are also focusing on the same, and there was also an amendment by Mheshimiwa answering that which we amended the county loans and bursaries act, whereby we removed the issue to do with loans for our students from county to county loans, and we replaced it with bursaries. And now, because we have replaced it with bursaries and scholarships, Mr. Speaker, the new faces you are seeing here, the 15 newly elected, they were elected because they were bursaries. We used to allocate bursary 5 million every year for every student everywhere, but they were not distributed. And that really costed our fellow members. And if the members who are here, they want to come back, one thing priority is a matter of bursaries. I know all our homes, we are hosting students who are even candidates who are supposed to do the exams in November, but they are at home because their parents, they cannot afford fees because of harsh change of climate and so forth, and harsh nature. Like the parents in Kifuso, I sympathize with them, in Mulilo and Paranga. they can no longer now go to do their manual works because of the wildlife conflict. And there's no fees, their kids are at home, they are no water and everything, so they are really suffering. So, Mr. Speaker, it is my prayer that the CCM who will get, maybe if they will succeed on the education, they will push through also us members, will push to the matters of bursaries. Let bursary be a priority. And it should not be just located in the budgets, like we used to allocate 5 million, and it was not there. For the past 5 years, as a member of Wing and Kifuso, I used to allocate 5 million, but if I can calculate the amount which was distributed in my ward as bursaries, it's less than 5 million conclusively for both 5 years. That was very poor. It was, if you could have ranked it, it was E performance in the executive. And they paid it consequently. And I know one polling station, they got 0 because parents suffer. And when they are going to vote, they say, our kids suffered and we are going to change the regime. I know, even that polling station, if it was the only one to determine who will be the victor, then, my friends, I could not be here with you. It was on the mercy of God. When if I got nothing in that position, the other one, I got something. But it's because of bursaries. But I don't want to be humiliated that way again in some years to come. As a sitting member, I don't want to get such a vote number. It is really humiliating. I was only saved in other areas. Another point, Mr. Speaker, is a matter of health. Indeed, His Excellency has been so much on these matters of health. And if we have been following the current events. When he was elected, the health workers, they made a party or a ceremony, a celebration for him, and they cut a cake at Panlis as a kneel down. That means to motivate the workers there, and also not only motivating, because he has said about paying of the staff and everything. The only attention which have been drawn in that point of health is where he has said he's going to form a task force to deal with matters of mental health. Indeed, we have brothers, maybe even if it's not our brothers, or cousins, or relatives, who are laboring on matters of mental health. Mr. Speaker, even my fellow members, if one of the market days you come at my home, you'll be surprised to see who are these people who are at my house, drinking and eating together. Because I believe no one chooses to go mad, no one chooses to live the way they live. It's because of harsh life they have gone through. There are people who have gone to school, but because they have dreams. They used to say, if I grow up, I want to be a pilot, I want to be what? But the life on the way, it messed them. They sank in depression, and now they are running, collecting papers and several of that. So I'm so happy that His Excellency saw it an element to see that the increment of people who are laboring on mental health, it is on a higher note. And he stated in his speech that he's going to form a task force to look on the matters to deal with the mental health. The only thing also I will add, if His Excellency will do, is also to do a task force that will look at the people who are laboring with HIV and AIDS. Mr. Speaker, when I was campaigning, I managed to one of my campaign agendas that through the foundation, the trust, Newton Kifuso Community Development Trust, that I will empower and help the people who are laboring with HIV. Why I say so? There are students who have realized their status at that time. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking at my time. Yes. Oh, I thought you were. There is one family, not to mention the names, where one boy came to my house in the morning, and he told me, you know, Newton, yes, I used to know my uncles and my parents, until one day they told me my cups are separate, I sleep down, and their kids, who I believed they're my brothers and sisters, they sleep on the bed. And I asked why. And then when he asked why they treating him that way, they said, look down, your parents are laying down there. And that was a young man. That was a real trouble to me. And that thing made me to go around campaigning and meeting these people. I managed to meet them and form groups, people living with HIV in my ward. Because I believe no one chooses their status. No one chooses to live or to die with HIV. HIV is a disease like any other disease. There are many ways one can communicate it. Through accident, through many other ways. Leave alone this one they say is about sex or everyone. No one can go to sex with a partner to have sex, to have AIDS. People go to enjoy life and things happen. So it is my humble request to His Excellency that as he is forming a task force to deal with matters of mental health, which he has mentioned, we will also set funds, and we also members, and I challenge you, because in my ward, I'll be setting funds when we are doing allocation to empower people living with HIV. Look at someone living with HIV, need to take the ARVs. They have no food, they have no water, they have everything. These people are dying. These people are languishing. They are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are our cousins, they are our electorates. They are votes. When they are going to vote, they don't vote as a HIV patient. They vote like any other person. So we should raise to the occasion and see what these people are going through. And I am pleading with His Excellency. The task force he said is going to form for mental health, he will add for persons living with HIV/AIDS. The other point, because of time, I know my minutes are running very fast. It's about water and sanitation. I like to congratulate him because he talked about rehabilitating the water dams, the catchment area and everything. And he mentioned Kisheni. Mr. Speaker, Kisheni is situated in the boundary of Mheshimiwa Wandau and myself in my ward, bordering one village of my area. And Kisheni is serving my people in Kifuso location and part of Up in the Mingu sub-location. But it is dry. It is dry or something like that. English, yeah? No, my English is not so much. So I think this is a thing which I congratulate him. And we are praying also God to intervene so that the rains can come down and our people can be able to get water, because we are really suffering. And for that, if you need any support from my side, when we are during budgeting and everything, he has it 100+1% to ensure this one is done. And lastly, there's one thing which he really used it as a campaign tool, which is his campaign manifesto, and he was really compassionate about it. It was a matter of farmyard manure. His Excellency the Governor, when he came to my area and his meeting was in Ngamboni Market, he really touched the hearts of people there, talking to them and telling them that our soils, because those who have done agriculture, something, they know that the pH, the acidity, we have teachers here, so you can correct me. The pH, is it pH? The litmus paper. The acidity is very high in our lands and our farms, and now productivity has really gone down. So when we will support him in matters of agriculture, because on the agriculture he has touched about infrastructure, he has transport, he has talked about proper transporting of farm produce, and also he has talked about the middlemen who are really for the macadamia farmers and French beans, but also members, those who are coming from areas of agriculture, horticultural production like Mugamboni, Viruga, and Ngereni, these areas. We should really budget for farmyard manure to improve our soils. There are people who need no manure, they need no fertilizers, because their farms are okay, like in Kifuso, Paranga, they don't need this. But in the hills, we really need this one. And lastly, such that other members, I can donate some minutes to my colleagues, because I have 5, but I want to use one to donate one to others. Public participation, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me tell you what used to happen, because I was here last 5 years. The executive used to carry out public participation. After executive carries public participation, when the documents come in our side, we are supposed constitutionally to go back for public participation and confirm is what the executive said the people say what the executive have brought to us. But when the executive conducted their public participation, and Mgala Mue and Hakeke Mpe, His Excellency, the former governor, his regime, they really did a lot of public participation. But County Assembly of Taita Taveta never did public participation. We used to pass here. I remember Anselm used to sit there, and myself used to sit back there, and the rest. And we used really to demand for public participation. But at the end, after we finished talking public participation, we know we have provided our programs to by then the majority leader and the clerk. The rest we have told, no funds, no nothing. We see it in the Facebook. That is people to do public participation online. And that thing killed, not even killed the careers of our 15 members, colleagues. You see, because if executive does the public participation, tells people what is there, then the document comes here. Then us, we say there are no funds, we are not going for public participation. Then the people asking, what is your work? As a member of County Assembly, you cannot confirm as what the people proposing is the same. So, we should not repeat what happened. I challenge all of us. If all of us, you need yourselves to be here back, please, public participation is mandatory. Like now, the executive will be going around for CIDP. After they go around collect projects, we are supposed, after it comes here, we go back to check. If we don't go back to check, will you be sure what has been brought is what your people say? You will not be sure. So I pray, and I thank Mr. Speaker, you will be really helping us and guiding us as that we do this as His Excellency has said. And he has emphasized and quoted the Constitution, that is a constitutional mandate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, if I have any minute, I'd like to donate it back to Mheshimiwa, my deputy, because he said he had 2 points he never finished. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa. All right.